Mighty Mean Joe Frazier. You are now tuned in to Fist Physics. Today's topic is Adonis Stevenson, Elder Alvarez. Big wins this weekend, big wins. I have to check the stats on the Breckus fight that was happening, I believe, in Norway this weekend, but it was untelevised. And I'm pretty sure that Breckus, the First Lady, Cecilia Breckus, I'm pretty sure she walked away with the win, but still have to check into it. Now, Adonis Stevenson, we'll start there. Well, actually, you know what? Let's start in the undercard. Elder Alvarez, I believe his name is pronounced, won a pretty much lopsided fight against John Pasquale. You could see what Pasquale was trying to do. It looks like he was trying to ambush Alvarez and hit him with something big, but Alvarez seemed to have a pretty decent chin. Seems like he's a pretty good boxer with a really good jab. So looking to see how his career starts to unfold as we move forward here in the future. Adonis Stevenson, this was his rematch against Andre Fonfara, who was actually trained by Virgil Hunter. Stevenson pretty much went out there, jumped on Fonfara, hurt him really bad in mid to late of the first round, and it was called by the time we got to the second round by the corner, Virgil Hunter. And it was a good call, in my opinion, because Fonfara really looked shaky out there, like he was about to really get hurt. Adonis Stevenson wins the fight. He's given a crown and a cape by his team. He announces that he's the A side, he's number one. During the interview, it looks like the Showtime people are trying to see if Stevenson is actually interested in taking on Alvarez, who was on the undercard, which I think would be a good move. And pretty much Stevenson didn't seem to express any interest in it. He kept on throwing out, you got to talk to Al Heyman and everybody that is in control of him, basically. Now, Stevenson, for people who don't know, has been calling out for many years now Sergey Kovalev. And Sergey Kovalev has jumped through every hoop, every turn of the corner that he can to possibly avoid face-off with Adonis Stevenson, including walking in the ward. And in my opinion, Sergey knew that, going in against Ward is pretty much a loss, but at least you'll be well compensated. But let's get it straight. He's been ducking Adonis Stevenson for several years. And at this point, I think would be a great, no matter what happens out of the Ward-Kovalev rematch, I think that Adonis is ready. I mean, if you're going to try to take him, now is the time. And I'm saying that because Adonis has actually been very inactive. He's maybe fought 3 times in the last 4.5 years. And in my opinion, even in that first round, he looked really sloppy. The punches weren't as sharp as I expected them to be. And he could have looked a lot better. But you know what? He's a power puncher. And guys like that, on any given night, they can go in there, they can hurt you real bad, and there's nothing much you can do, so the fight gets stopped. But I was looking forward to Stevenson versus Kovalev, and if Stevenson actually steps up his activity, because at 39 years old, that's not an age where you can afford to be inactive. Even young guys can't afford to be inactive. But an older guy at that age, nah, man, you can't do it. I do not think HBO would be very easily to negotiate with as far as putting Ward in with Adonis Stevenson. There would be a path. There would be a path to Adonis Stevenson getting the big money. So in my opinion, he needs to go. He needs to take care of Alvarez real quick. Maybe a really quick turnaround. Maybe a September fight, October fight. And next year, if he really is interested in going in against Ward, which is a big name, which is a big A side, which I think an active Adonis Stevenson actually has a shot at beating, then he would have to fight the guys under the brand that Kovalev is with. I'm not sure of the name right now, but I know the Duva family is in charge of that. So he would be maybe looking to mix it up with the same guys that Ward had to get to Kovalev. And then Adonis would still have to deal with Kovalev. Maybe if he took that path. And also, keep in mind that Stevenson would have to take a big pay cut in these fights. This path to a big money fight with Andre Ward in the future, maybe 2018, if it's something that he really is interested in having, there's a path to that, and the path that leads toward is not going to be paved with gold. I'm sorry, you're going to be looking to take pay cuts to fight, and I can't remember the Cuban fighter I'm thinking about right now, but you're going to have to take a pay cut against him. I would expect you to take a pay cut against Sergey Kovalev, and maybe if you knock 2 or 3 guys out that are on the HBO side, maybe then you could at least step toward with a 60-40. Maybe. Highly doubtful, though. But Stevenson is really going to have to step up his activity. And, I mean, I'll get back to that later. I'll make another video about Stevenson because he was one of my favorite fighters a couple years back. Now, not looking so hot. Also, I'm going to hit you guys with the results from the Cecilia Brækhus Fiora fight, which happened this weekend. I believe 6 belts or 5 belts were on the line. No catch weight. The First Lady Cecilia Brækhus, I'm pretty sure she walked away with the win, but I want to make sure that I know exactly what happened, being that the fight wasn't televised and I didn't see anybody talking about it all weekend. So I want to go look that information up before I hit you in the head with it. All right, it's the Mighty Mean Joe Frazier, Physics 1.